Welcome to Earth Archives. In the history of the world, there are not many examples of women becoming the supreme ruler. The first one in China was Wu Zetian, and there was also a comparable female pharaoh Hatshepsut in ancient Egypt. Today we are going to talk about this female pharaoh who was deliberately erased from history. Before the show starts, please help share and subscribe to the Earth Archives channel. Thank you. Like China, ancient Egypt also had a unique female emperor. She was Hatshepsut, the famous queen of ancient Egypt. Hatshepsut was the sixth pharaoh of the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt. She reigned for 22 years. During her tenure as pharaoh, Egypt's political society was stable and its market economy was prosperous. This shows that she was a wise woman. Hatshepsut was the daughter of Thutmose I. It was said that she was not only beautiful, but also smart and loved by her father. She originally had 3 brothers, but before the death of Thutmose I, her 2 main brothers had already died. According to the regulations of the Egyptian royal family, the son of a concubine should inherit the throne, but the royal family also has a strange rule, that is, you must marry your half-sister to have royal blood. So Hatshepsut, who was only 12 years old, became queen. Thutmose II was ill and unable to govern the country, so the responsibility of governing the country fell on Queen Hatshepsut. Within a few years, Thutmose II died of illness. In order to succeed and realize her political ambitions, Hatshepsut arranged for the 10-year-old boy born to Thutmose II and his concubine to be married to her own. His biological daughter married, and the boy became the famous Thutmose III. Hatshepsut continued to be in charge of the country's affairs in the name of the new pharaoh's young age. As Thutmose III grew up, he also yearned for power, but before it was his turn to take charge, he was exiled by Hatshepsut. In order to establish his own status, he portrayed himself as the daughter of the sun god Amun. She was the daughter of the old king, the queen of the former king and the aunt of the current king. It was understandable to be a pharaoh. Her fabricated life experience was engraved on the murals of the queen's temple by monks. Even so, she still had to worry about the social climate of inequality between men and women in ancient Egypt, so in order to maintain the image of the royal family, she always dressed as a man during her 22 years in power. In the statue, she is also dressed as a man, with a beard and no female features. In the 22nd year of Hatshepsut's reign, Thutmose III launched a coup to regain the throne. From then on, Hatshepsut, his lover and daughter disappeared from people's sight. Along with her disappearance, many records of her reign were lost. Therefore, historical data cannot find any information about her loss of power and why she died, which makes it more difficult for modern Egyptian historians to study her history. There is a theory that Hatshepsut died suddenly during her reign, and then a group of soldiers rushed into the palace and destroyed all items related to her. Even her statue in the temple had its head or arms destroyed, her name was chiseled off the wall, and all records about her in historical materials were erased. Temples and statues recording the great achievements of the Egyptian pharaohs are scattered all over Egypt, but only the female pharaoh has turned the page. Historical information about her was destroyed, statues were mutilated, monuments were smashed, and even her mummy was missing. The cause of her death became a mystery. At the beginning of the 20th century, British archaeologist Carter conducted a scientific investigation in the Valley of the Kings in Egypt and accidentally discovered that Hatshepsut's tomb was a tomb without a mummy. In another tomb, Carter found 2 mummies of elderly women, placed in different locations, one in a sarcophagus and one on the ground. Some Egyptian archaeologists believe that these are the mummies of Hatshepsut and Wet Nurse, but some scholars dispute this. They believe that the mummy of the female pharaoh is in the Cairo Museum and that of the Wet Nurse is in the original tomb. In 2002, an archaeological team composed of experts from the international archaeological community and Egyptian archaeological community used advanced equipment to start searching for the real mummies of Hatshepsut. Eventually, they narrowed their search scope to 4 mummies. Experts also used advanced CT scanning technology to compare the mummies of Hatshepsut's relatives with 4 mummies one by one, and finally narrowed the scope down to 2 of them. These 2 mummies were exactly the 2 mummies Carter was looking for. Finally, experts used technical means to determine that the mummy thrown on the ground was the mummy of Queen Hatshepsut. Egyptologists speculate that the new pharaoh may have thought that Hatshepsut was not worthy of being buried in the pharaoh's tomb, so he threw her into the Wet Nurse's tomb to vent his personal anger. Archaeological expert Avis said it was a miracle that the mummy was discovered in 1903 and has remained untouched ever since. Research shows that the female pharaoh died of diabetes or liver cancer. She was about 50 years old when she died. Her left hand was placed on her chest, which is a traditional symbol of power for the Egyptian royal family. Gander, a well-known molecular geneticist, pointed out that a comparison of the DNA samples taken from the mummy's bones with the DNA samples of Hatshepsut's grandmother found that the genes are basically consistent, and the mummy is undoubtedly Hatshepsut. However, some conservative archaeologists are cautious about this result, saying that further evidence is needed to prove it. Horus also went to Hatshepsut's tomb to look for clues, but what he found here surprised him. The damage here was severe, the mummy's head was chopped off, the eyes were gouged out, and the royal triangle symbol on the forehead was cut off with a knife. As far as you can see, the ground is full of broken pharaoh sculptures. The ancient Egyptians feared the pharaoh very much. Even tomb robbers would be afraid of the pharaoh's curse, and would not touch the mummies. It seems that the owner of the tomb must have aroused great hatred from the gravediggers before they insulted the corpse. The only female pharaoh of Egypt has left too many mysteries to the world. She married her brother, took the throne from her nephew, and the mysterious cause of death. Historians generally believe that it was because of her usurpation of power that Thutmose III revenged. Hatshepsut was once a great female pharaoh. Although later generations had mixed praise and criticism for her, she was definitely a great monarch who governed the country well during her reign. Thousands of years have passed, and her deeds have long faded from people's horizons, but people's interest in Egypt's only female pharaoh has not diminished at all. A discovery in the Grand Canyon of North America was unexpectedly related to Hatshepsut. The story of a historian and explorer named Kincaid who made a shocking discovery in the Grand Canyon in 1909. According to an article published by the Arizona Republic, Kincaid stumbled upon a cave with intricate caverns inside. Passages, rooms and statues resembling Eastern Buddha statues. The cave even has a circular structure that resembles a modern granary. Kincaid explored the cave and noticed a steady flow of air with no signs of oxygen deprivation or foul odors. The deepest chamber of the cave amazed Kincaid. Egyptian artifacts and mummies found in a hidden cave. Newspaper articles about the discovery attracted widespread attention, but the Smithsonian Institution denied the existence of such a discovery. However, later evidence emerged confirming the existence of the cave and artifacts. It is suggested that the cave is located in a restricted area known as Marble Canyon, which is off-limits to the public. The revelation raises questions about what the Smithsonian may be hiding, as they have previously denied any knowledge of the discovery. Different explanations for how the ancient Egyptians arrived in North America are explored, ranging from the possibility of early exploration to advanced seafaring capabilities. One theory is that Queen Hatshepsut, the powerful ruler of ancient Egypt, used advanced shipbuilding technology to lead trading expeditions, including to the Americas. Another, more wild theory holds that ancient Egyptians crossed the Indian and Pacific Oceans and settled in the Grand Canyon, becoming the first immigrants to North America. These theories challenge traditional historical beliefs and highlight the potential of lost knowledge and ancient seafaring abilities.